Welcome back and good evening, or probably when you watch this, it'll be afternoon. We're recording the evening for our After Dark pod, and it's truly an After Dark pod away from the point as I've got a beer here, something I could not do
Omar, put
out,
that
out
away.
of West
Put
Point.
that away, Omar. There's children that watch this.
I'm drinking responsibly. I will say that, just drinking responsibly. One beer, two beers at most a night.
Like if we
But
aren't if we aren't getting that sweet Coors Light sponsorship like PMT, I don't want it. Did you see that?
that's pretty cool. Yeah, no, that was pretty
That's
sick.
cool.
Honestly, they got their own. Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to buy a can. Like honestly, that's
Look, all I'm saying is I was saying mountains are blue, silver blue. I was saying all that before they were even on it. So I'm just saying, where's my sponsorship? I've been on
thanks.
that for years.
Sponsor us more so Marshall. I mean,
Unbelievable.
either or.
It's
I'm just trying to get it.
unbelievable.
I'm trying to start a get a dope MILB sponsorship with all the random minor league hats. Hopefully that catches on.
You know what I'm on right now? I've been calling it Colorado Kool-Aid. A little reference back to Johnny Paycheck, old outlaw country singer. He has a song called Colorado Kool-Aid. It's all about Coors Light, baby.
I'm gonna check that out. I'm not much of a country fan, but I'm starting to get into the slower stuff, man. A little bit of Anderson East, a little bit of Chris Stapleton. Just the slower stuff, man. They'll put me to sleep. Uh, but anyway, moving to our topic. It's been a while since we've recorded, and before this, we actually went back and forth on what to talk about. So just depending on the time, we may talk about both topics. But we're gonna talk first about something that happened in the bowl landscape with the Arizona Bowl, not only becoming sponsored by Barstool, but announcing that it would be exclusively broadcast on Barstool's website. So, brief context. Well, Marshall, first, initial thoughts on this sponsorship, because I have my own thoughts.
My thoughts, brilliant. I think in the ever-growing landscape of bowls, you need to do something to differentiate yourself. I think partnering with a name, even as that draws as much controversy as Barstool, ultimately will improve ratings. I think I'll let you touch more on that point though. But on top of that, man, it's pretty brilliant in my opinion. It's like we've talked in the past about how watching college football in the future is it's going to have to transition to a more streaming centric approach. And I think this really keeps them ahead of the curve. And you think about Barstool, you're like, okay, they have their little Instagram page, they have their little Dave Portnoy pizza reviews. Like, what do they have to do with streaming and this kind of stuff? It's like if you've kept up with them at all, it's like they put out like essentially their own like college game day. Like I had the fortune of going to a West Virginia, Texas, electric scene. Electric scene. They had a great professional setup. Like they really had the means to put on a professional production. Like it was good. It's like you go watch any of them, they're like, whether or not you're a Barstool fan or not, the production values are there, right? On top of that, they have other big streaming events you already, like they're Rough and Rowdy, right? Like I'm not trying to be a little Barstool fanboy or anything here, but I'm saying like they have streaming capability. I think this makes sense. I think in the land of bowls, you need to be bold and you need to move quickly. And I think that's exactly what the Arizona Bowl did, and I commend them for it.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Barstool does have the capabilities, but they also have the pass, as you mentioned a little bit. A little bit at the start. There's the infamous Dave Portnoy interview with him saying that women that are dressed in a certain fashion deserve to be raped, and that is absolutely deplorable. There's no room for that in society. I mean, much less the bowl landscape, for sure. And controversy is one thing to say the least about Barstool. Um, but I will say this. Every network or business has a controversy of their own. I mean, you had I'm not sure the degree. I didn't really read the whole thing with Maria Taylor and what was happening behind the scenes at ESPN, but there's some controversy there with ESPN. Even then with the stuff that you buy, the Nike shoes you wear, the Vans you wear, those are all made in like, well, not all of them, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of the shoes you wear are made in sweatshops. So I'm saying my point is, if you're going to take that moral stand, go all the way and don't pick and choose and don't pick on Barstool. You are right in that they have the broadcasting capabilities, and something we've talked about in the past about the future of college football being streaming based. I think it's starting to become true because big news. last week was Notre Dame Toledo getting pushed to Peacock, which I thought, I mean, listen, if Notre Dame isn't protected from being sent to streaming, no one is really. So, I mean, just these two moves show that it's like the future of college football. Um, in all honesty, I feel like this move kind of shows that the Arizona Bowl is doomed from the start because it's the third bowl in Arizona. Its first ever bowl game was the first bowl game since the 1991 Freedom Bowl, I believe, to not be nationally televised, which was cool. That was in syndication. It's cool if it's 1990 to be shown on your local over the air station, unaffiliated over the air station, but not cool for 2015 standards. And then that was also the first bowl game, first non-national title bowl game since 1979 to have two teams from the same conference play. 2016, the same thing, syndicated and online simulcast. Very great game though, with Air Force coming back from a 21-3 deficit against South Alabama. 2017, you had the iconic game against New Mexico State and Utah State, breaking the bowl curse. But again, on CBS Sports Network, where it went in 2018. 2018, the game went into overtime. Really exciting game towards the end with a friend of the podcast, Rich Waltz, calling it. But the only problem was the overtime period overlapped into the start of the Cotton Bowl, which was a playoff semifinal that year. So it almost feels like this bowl has been doomed from the start. They did have their sort of moment in the sun last year during the pandemic bowl season with the Sun Bowl being canceled, so it got bumped to CBS. The nation got to see the epic quarterback duel of Drew Plitt versus Nick Starkel. Fellow Justin Bieber fan Nick Starkel, I must say. But they saw that, but the ratings of that were surprisingly low despite being on CBS. Like that bowl rated below Houston, the New Mexico Bowl on New Year's Eve, the First Responders Bowl between Louisiana and Texas San Antonio, the Camellia Bowl, Marshall and Buffalo, and the I almost called it the Belk Bowl, but the Dukes Mayo Bowl between Wake Forest and Wisconsin, which was pretty much the most meaningless Power Five bowl of the bowl season. So even then, it's almost like people don't really care nationally about the Arizona Bowl, even when it's a scorcher of a matchup between It's that's pretty much the closest thing we had to the Rose Bowl last year. We had a Midwestern Conference champ and a Pacific Conference champ. Closest thing we had to a Rose Bowl, no one cared because it was the Arizona Bowl. So I just think this move kind of shows the trajectory the Arizona Bowl's been on.
I'd have to agree. I think it's it's pretty interesting. I'm stuck on like it's funny the I guess the nuance, right? You see like your point of like Nike shoes, for instance, right? And it goes back to like the age old like economics argument. It's like I guess it's not really relevant at all. If anyone wants to discuss this with me in the comments, feel free, and we'll get into the nuances, I guess, of a value, judgment arguments. Um, but yeah, I think it's so funny. I didn't even. It's like so right in front of you that the Arizona Bowl is like the third bowl in Arizona, right? But it almost like doesn't even seem like it, just since it's not even in like the Phoenix area. Because I was like, okay, Cheez It Bowl, and I was like, what else is it? Oh, Fiesta Bowl. It's like the Fiesta Bowl almost doesn't even count as an Arizona Bowl just because it's so national. It's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah, and like the point was like to bring a bowl to the southern Arizona area when they brought the Arizona Bowl there. And honestly, if I'm the Mountain West or the MAC, so if I'm the Mountain West, you have geography to choose from teams. Like you can have San Diego State make the few hour drive, I think it's about like 4 or 5 hours, easy day trip down to Tucson, UNLV, Las Vegas, same thing. New Mexico, a bit longer, but still like a manageable day trip. Teams like you can have teams like that play, but if you're in the MAC, I'm not sending my champion to Arizona. I mean, well, especially since they have the Quick Lane Bowl against the Big Ten. I mean, you're going to send a champ there, but the other division champ, you're probably going to send them somewhere else. Like, I mean, honestly, if I'm looking at the MAC bowl landscape, like the Camellia Bowl, I'm so glad that they have a bowl on Christmas Day again. I think the Camellia Bowl is here to stay on Christmas. You send your division champ to the Camellia Bowl, and maybe send say like 6-6 Akron down to Arizona to be shown on Barstool's website and really be sent to Arizona in a tough travel uh, situation. But I will say this: I think it's more accessible, frankly. Just getting on a website. The one obstacle is older college football fans, and that's like it makes more sense, to have a game, I guess, a game like Notre Dame Toledo be put on Peacock than say USA, like the first quarter of the Clemson Notre Dame game was last year on USA, or in past years NBC Sports Network. To this day, I cannot believe it's highly disrespectful that they put the first football game at Fenway Park since the 1960s on NBC Sports Network, Notre Dame Boston College, in a game that had playoff implications on NBC Sports Network. But I digress.
That's not a bad network. It could be worse.
I mean, it's a cable network though. That's the thing. Like, it like had Peacock existed then, it would have made a lot of sense. Really, I mean, there would have been still disgruntlement between older Notre Dame fans, but like, I mean, cable networks really, unless it's like a regional network, it's hard living for networks like NBC Sports Network, CBS Sports Network. Really,
Sure.
I mean, NBC Sports Network's kind of, they're going to fold by the end of this year because they realize that the streaming model is more beneficial than the cable model. But
Yeah, well, I mean, I get where you're coming from, I guess, and it's like perhaps we'll just call that a casualty of the transition from our old network sways to streaming, and I guess hopefully it won't happen again, but who can say for sure? Maybe we'll get another
yeah,
game. I mean, it's like anytime there's March Madness on, it's like why the hell are these games on TNT? Like when did TNT get the contract for this random ass? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, and I think, I don't know. I mean, bowl contracts like come and change, but I think what would have been more beneficial for a bowl like the Arizona Bowl, or just in the future, any of these Group of Five bowls, they want a leg up. Why not take a Saturday afternoon slot on like NBC? Because NBC, sports wise, they're going to be in a huge bind in the coming years because they don't have the NHL.
Hmm.
That's what they had in the winter. Like, I could see, like, honestly, like some good Group of Five bowls, like, pick anyone you want. Maybe like the Quick Lane Bowl, any bowl that's not owned by ESPN at the moment. That's a Group of Five bowl, like the Military Bowl, not owned by ESPN. That one could grab a slot on like NBC, and you never know. Have like Navy play in the game. Like that's a huge draw for that network. I just stuff like that. I just can't believe that these bowls won't try other networks really, even CBS and CBS Sports Network too, because I mean, you got college basketball on CBS in the winter weekends, but what's to say they won't do like a doubleheader, between like a national game week for college basketball and follow that up with a Group of Five bowl. But that just shows how, I guess, how hard it is for broadcasters to get in the bowl industry. I mean, the whole thing with Barstool. I mean, um,
I mean, it's
it's
like
just hard. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of maybe perhaps a testament to what the future may hold because I mean, it's like ESPN's almost like trying to get a monopoly on bowls, really owning like every damn bowl. Maybe the Barstool, maybe it's like you may not be the anyone, right? May not be the biggest Barstool fan at the end of the day, but what they're doing, it could just be considered democratization of the bowl landscape and lead to future networks, future smaller players. Maybe we'll get a stadium bowl. I don't know. It's like maybe we'll get a what's that one you did for in
Oh, Sports Primo.
we're gonna get a sports primo bowl. You never know.
But
You never
yeah,
know.
no, I agree. And well, you bring up Stadium, and that's like, so Stadium's got kind of an interesting history because they were the American Sports Network, the network of stations, not just one individual like nationwide network. It was a network of stations through syndication that broadcasted the Arizona Bowl. So that's pretty much Stadium's lineage. But yeah, like the monopoly, the one good thing about the monopoly I will say for ESPN and bowls, because they own about 18, 19 bowls, is they'll craft those matchups geographically and regionally to really cater to the fans. So that's one good thing the worldwide leader does with their bowls. Like 2016, the first time that I saw it happen, they I like when I was doing my yearly bowl projections before selection Sunday, I had Idaho going to the Arizona Bowl because I had no idea that ESPN could switch around bowl times, but come to find out, they ended up putting Miami of Ohio against Mississippi State. And what an experience for Miami of Ohio to go to a bowl against an SEC team, even though they're a 5-7 SEC team. Like, that's still a great experience that ESPN created for them. And then Idaho played in their final bowl in Idaho, in Boise, in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. So ESPN does that well. But the monopoly, like the networks, like it used to be so cool in the mid 2000s on New Year's Day when you would have on Fox, you'd have the Cotton Bowl, Pat Summerall on the call, good old Pat on the tail end of his career. Then on NBC, you had the Gator Bowl, and then on ABC, you had the Citrus Bowl and the Rose Bowl and then the Sugar. Like, there's just that diversity of broadcasting and really each network putting their all into those bowls. You just don't get that anymore. I mean, you
I
really
want I
don't.
want I want Joe Buck on the call.
No, no.
I
He,
want Joe
he,
Buck and Troy Aikman on the call. Someone give them a ball.
No, absolutely not. I will say, Gus Johnson's calls of the Holiday Bowl. I mean, that they just add something to they add something to bowl season, especially the 2018 Holiday Bowl. That's one of my favorite bowls. Just remember watching on the couch with David because I had Northwestern beating Utah. You know, very good game, very good comeback for Northwestern and Pat Fitzgerald's team. But I digress. Like bowl season, maybe we'll see more diversity in the bowl broadcasting, but it's just not looking like that. And I mean, we'll see what the Barstool Arizona Bowl has because these diverse sponsors tend to not last long. I don't know if you remember the Duck Commander sponsorship that with the Independence Bowl that lasted all of 1 year. I mean,
Okay, but I mean that, I mean you can draw that up to, you know, whatever you want. Perhaps that was more of a, you know, an unfortunate marketing spend play there. Like I don't know what I guess I don't know the operations necessarily of Duck Commander, and that I haven't seen their, you know, their financials, but I could imagine they're a bit more of a uh, viral brand than a you know, a brand that makes a lot of money, if I had to guess.
that's a fair point. I mean, I think they are local to the Shreveport area. But yeah, I mean, for the record, I am not endorsing Barstool. If you like that's fine. But personally, I would not endorse that company.
I,
Um,
I will say I think I've seen, have you seen that? I think there's like a big Duck Commander sponsorship on that like giant like the pyramid dicks, you know, in like
oh, in
is
Memphis. Oh,
Memphis,
you mean
yeah.
the Bass Pro Shops?
Yeah.
Because that used to be the
Yeah,
Memphis
yeah, yeah.
Tigers arena. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. I think they have a big old Duck Commander thing on that, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
I mean, shoot, if AutoZone ever lets go of the Liberty Bowl, I mean, as long as I can as long as I can remember, the Liberty Bowl's been AutoZone. I mean, it's pretty wild. It's like honestly, I think since like 2005, it's been with AutoZone. But if they ever let go, maybe we'll see a Duck Commander Liberty Bowl. But it would be hard.
So you can
I
pick
mean,
any sponsor you want to sponsor any bowl game. What would you pair?
I want Iguodala to sponsor a bowl.
Oh, shut up.
I'm just kidding. No, honestly, if I had a sponsor, like, I'm trying to think of like brands. Like most of the brands that I like and are dear to, it's like due to college football. Um, I'd say honestly, well, shoot, we already had a Little Caesars bowl because I was thinking about the Little Caesars meme. It's like Little Caesars tastes good. You don't got a B word in your ear telling you it's nasty. Like,
Oh,
but there's already a Little Caesars.
don't you say that about women? Don't you say that
Oh,
about women?
sorry. I'm sorry. Well, hey, it could be, B words could be
Unbelievable.
males or females.
This is not how we do.
I'm saying B words could be males or females. So you could, I mean, anyone could be talking to you telling you Little Caesars nasty. But I'd say, I mean, it's true. I'd say honestly, I wasn't prepared for this question. I have to say, honestly, maybe get like Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble involved. Get like a Fruity Pebbles bowl.
Bro,
Like,
imagine you get like Fender or Gibson or like one of, or like you know, like a huge guitar brand sponsor a bowl
okay.
at Hard Rock.
Oh snap! I was thinking when you said like Fender, I was thinking like Nashville, like the Music City Bowl. I thought that's where you're going with that.
That would be a good one too. That'd be a good one too.
I didn't think you're going with like sponsor on top of sponsor, but yeah, no,
To,
I'm surprised that a guitar company doesn't sponsor the Music City Bowl. Like, it just feels natural.
to be fair, most of the guitar, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are like pretty financially distressed. So that may explain
No,
that one, but
dang, maybe I almost called it Guitar Hero, Guitar Center. Maybe Guitar Center sponsors the bowl. I mean,
that'd be cool.
they're a chain, right? They should be in
Yeah.
good straits.
Well, I mean, it's like I don't you can't really use the brand name to, I mean, describe distress. I mean, it's like look at Toys R Us, you know, one of the biggest brands in the world,
Oh
and
yeah.
they go bankrupt like 5 times just due to, I mean, it's like there's a myriad of financial things that went into that, you know, so we won't get into the details of that, but I would not equate brand name to necessarily like financial strength.
That's fair. That's fair. In this day and age, you can't really do that. Well, still have a little bit of time left, so we're gonna segue to our next topic that we were debating doing. So recently, I think last month actually, Frank Solich, the old coach of Ohio, recently retired, and I think he was the most tenured coach in college football up to that point, being there since 2005. You just don't see coaches stay there that long, but the man had a great legacy at Ohio. Sadly, one of the biggest tragedies is how he could not bring home a MAC title to Athens, Ohio. And I think they had shots in 2006 in 2010 they blew a 20-0 lead against Northern Illinois. Yeah, that's the 28-3 for Ohio fans. I found out about that. I was like looking at his record. I'm like, man, they blew a 20-point lead in that one. And 2016, it really wasn't their year in 2016. Of course, that being the Western Michigan team's Cotton Bowl season. But there was that one as well. 0-3 in MAC title games. Ohio still has yet to win a MAC title since 1968, but Frank Solich took them to new heights, got them their first ranking since 1968 and 2012. Ultimately, they did not end up in a BCS Bowl that year, losing 4 games, but still a solid year. 2006 got them their first bowl appearance and win, or no, bowl appearance since 1968. First bowl appearance in 68 and their first bowl win ever in the 2011 famous Idaho Potato Bowl. But one game might haunt Ohio fans beyond those MAC titles, and that's 2008 between Ohio and Ohio State, where the Ohio Bobcats actually led Ohio State 14-12 in the fourth quarter at the Horseshoe. And I got to ask this, Marshall, to send it. Like, do you think his legacy? Do you think Frank Solich's legacy would have changed for the better if they were able to pull out that win, that upset?
Yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, it's like my first gut was like, well, no, because it was so long ago. But when you talk about like storied, like programs like that, I mean, in the sense that, his long tenure, and then you have people that are like so like it's like if you're an Ohio fan, you buy into Ohio, right? You're not buying in for a year to the Seahawks because they went to the Super Bowl, or the Warriors or the Yankees or whoever, it's like you're buying in. And so it's like he would have gone down as the man who beat Ohio State in the Horseshoe. So undoubtedly. I mean, he still like probably goes down as the man who led Ohio State in the fourth quarter at the Horseshoe, So it's like, to be fair, it's like I don't know. I mean, I guess it is pretty legendary. If he would have pulled it off, it would have been. But it is a little bit sad. I mean, it's like after all those years, it's getting so close, getting so close, getting so close. You just can't get over that hump. I mean, it's like you commend him for the effort. You have to, but it makes you wonder what could have changed. I don't know. I don't know, but the tenure of itself, I think, is something definitely to be respected, and it's a huge loss in the college football, world to have seen him pass.
Yeah, he didn't pass. He just retired. So, but yeah, no, I totally agree. The thing is with Ohio State, it just seems like there's schools that'll be upset by, group of five schools. It happens to them, like Power Five schools, that is. Happened to Michigan. Oh, wait. I mean, of course, App State in 2007. The next year, Toledo. But Ohio State hasn't lost to an in-state opponent since the 1890s. And for Ohio to break that streak, like that's almost like that's like an insane streak, like really to exist. Uh, I think it would have gone down maybe. I mean, I'd say this might be a hot take, but I'd say it would go up there with App State, Michigan, because if you think about it, Ohio State was defending national runner up. Ohio really, like the previous year, didn't go to a bowl. I think they were 6-6. That year in 2008, they didn't go to a bowl. That year, Ohio State would go 10-2 and end up in the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, it's with those proportions, with everything historical about it. Like I was telling one of my friends, like the thing was like the warning signs were there for App State to beat Michigan because App State had won 2 straight national titles. Like this wasn't like the South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs showing up to the showing up to the big house. Like this was an actual elite program. I mean, despite being a different level, like I mean, as we know, they can play ball down there at Kid Brewer Stadium out in Boone, North Carolina. But really, it's really sad, that they couldn't pull that one off because I think honestly, I almost think that would have covered for his lack of a MAC title. Really, I mean, just beating Ohio State and being that in-state team. I mean, and a lesser degree too, if he would have beaten Western Michigan and spoiled their bid for the New Year's Six, like that probably we probably be talking more about Frank Solich and like, oh man, he got fries dumped on him in the 2020 famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
I will say it's like while you can like definitely remember him in good light, right? For someone who didn't win for so long, what kept him around?
Oh no, he won. No, he won. Here's the thing, like he took Ohio to like new heights because Ohio they, like I said, they didn't go to a bowl for 38 years under Solich. Like this was a more bound program. But, um, I guess when it comes to the MAC, the turnaround of the MAC is so high because I mean the coaches that have coached there, Brian Kelly, Butch Davis, who else? Let's see, um, Brady Hoke. Like really, the turnaround there is it's really quick. It's hard to find a guy with a lot of tenure and longevity in the MAC like Frank Solich, like a tail end of his career type guy. And he took them to bowls. Like honestly, like that's as good as it got, or it has ever gotten at Ohio. Just I don't know how many bowls exactly they went to, but I want to say it's over like 7, 8 bowls. I mean, Solich did win. It just he couldn't win the big one. It's like Andy Reid. It's like Andy Reid situation, if we're being honest.
But he won.
Wait, except well, Andy Reid didn't win the big one. Like Frank Solich, like got Ohio ranked. He won bowl games.
Andy Reid won like 2 years ago.
Well, I'm talking about with the Eagles. I'm talking about Andy Reid with the Eagles.
Okay.
What do you mean? Okay, like,
I mean, let's just move the goalposts here.
I'm just saying. Well, if we're talking the big one being title games,
Right.
Andy Reid won with the Eagles. He just didn't win the Super Bowl title game. He didn't win. He only,
Okay, I'll say if you
you know,
completely ignore his dominance as the coach of the Chiefs, then sure, I understand what you're saying.
I'm talking about Andy Reid with the Eagles, man. Like it's a moot point now since Andy Reid's won a Super Bowl. It's a moot point now. Like
Yeah. Plus, Andy Reid has not passed away yet. So rest in peace,
Frank
Frank Solich.
Solich hasn't either.
Rest in peace, Frank.
Frank Solich hasn't either. I mean, he's just retired. He still works for the school, but
Rest.
if you look at his Power Five wins, like you look at his Power Five wins, like the turning point for Ohio football came on a Friday night Labor Day weekend against Pittsburgh with Dave Wanstad coming in, and I mean the game ended electric fashion. First ever weeknight game, I think, for ESPN to come to Ohio. Pick six in overtime wins it against the Panthers, and really I think that's the turning point of Ohio football. But his other Power Five wins against a bad Illinois team in 2006. He also beat Penn State in 2012. I mean, that Penn State team wasn't bad, but they were shaken from the Jerry Sandusky scandal. A couple wins against Kansas. None of them have like that magnitude of a great Power Five win, you know.
So,
But Frank Solich, really, I mean, what he's done for Ohio, I mean, that program's it's in good hands now, no matter who coaches it, unless you get a real, bad coach. But I think it's irreversible. I mean, it's really miles ahead of where they were when Solich took over. But again, that fateful Saturday, September 6th, 2008, you know, maybe we talking about Frank Solich as a giant among, group of five coaches like we do about Chris Peterson. You never knew. No.
yeah, I'd agree. I'd say where you mentioned longest tenure coach. Where did uh where did Coach Snyder rank among that bunch before?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm talking like active coaches.
No, I know. It
Oh
just made
yeah.
me think like just coaches who have coached, with long
Yeah.
longevity. He's the first one that comes to my mind. I'm
Okay.
just curious if you knew. I don't know.
No. I mean, I'm not sure where he ranks all time. It's certainly like rare to see him like the Frank Beamers,
Oh yeah.
Bill Snyders and stuff. I mean, it seems like the only tenured coaches that are left are the service academy coaches because I mean, honestly, like those guys love what they do and they're in a system that isn't transferable to other colleges really. I mean, um which is kind of sad. I mean, as we've talked about before with option offense, but yeah, like I think all time Snyder ranks probably like I want to say like top 10 honestly, like at least, but I mean that was way more common back in the older days. Like I think Joe Paterno coached almost 50 years. It was like 45 years. Joe Paterno coached at Penn State. And then
That is
Bowden.
that does not count.
That's not okay. Well, Bobby Bowden then. Bobby Bowden coached like 33 years, I think, at Florida State. Oh, are we just redacting Joe Paterno from the record books now?
Your dad. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. It's still tough to talk about 10 years later. I mean, let's be honest. It's still really hard to talk about and discuss. So we'll just pretend we didn't mention. We'll blur that part out in the podcast. We'll
It's gonna be
censor
like
it.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be like a beep, so no one's gonna know who we're talking about. It's gonna be so confusing. Except
It's
more than
kind
likely, it's gonna be posted exactly as it is, and I'm gonna be saying this, and they're gonna say, "Dude, you didn't do that." I didn't. I know. I know.
it's gonna be like I don't know if you've seen the memes like Marvin Harrison, people talking about like how he just doesn't exist because he's just like so low key off the field.
It's
Like
like
there's a
It's the same
No, go
way.
ahead.
It's the same way Perry Ellis 20 like spent 20 years at Kansas. Same way.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, I guess, like, I think it's weird how we feel like players have been there forever when it's just been 4 years, unless you're like
Ah,
a 6 year guy, like Case Keenum. That man was truly at Houston forever because he had like a million medical red shirts and stuff. Like, I mean, it's stuff like that. But like a 4 year starter, we think, oh man, that guy's been around since like the Kennedy administration. Like, okay, let's chill out.
and I'm just saying, it's like you watch a team every single year. That guy becomes part of your life a little bit. Really, it's kind of funny.
That's true. No, that's true for sure. Um, there's a guy on Hawaii, which I'll probably talk about this with Jackson on hardware, but Chavin Cordero. So Chavin Cordero, the new redshirt rules came into play in 2018, his freshman year. His freshman year, he led two come from behind victories in 2018 for Hawaii to bring them to bowl season. 2019, he splits time with Cole McDonald. Then, of course, 2020, we have everyone getting an extra year of eligibility. So this man can realistically, he's played parts of 3 years. This man's like realistically be considered a sophomore with the extra year being added of eligibility. I don't know if that's just for seniors, but if it's for everyone, like the man can end up playing like 6, 7 years of college football, which is just absolutely
I think it's
unbelievable.
for everyone.
It's for everyone. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too. But I
Yeah,
hear the term super senior being thrown out more than anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I assumed
Yeah,
it was all, but
no, that's what I thought. But yeah, that man's been around forever. Or he will be around forever if he doesn't transfer. It seems like all these guys with their super senior season are just like transferring, especially in the Group of 5 schools, and it's kind of sad. But players gonna play.
yes, they will.
Yeah, it's just words to live by. That I don't live by. I mean, I'm not a player. I respect women.
You're a man of God, Omar.
I am. That is true, and a minor league baseball fan.
Oh, are you wearing a minor league baseball hat right now?
I am. Augusta Green Jackets.
So such a cool name.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's great. It's associated with the town. It's awesome.
It's probably the best mascot I've heard for a minor league team ever, honestly.
Um, I'm trying to top you on that one. Um, what about the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs?
Nope,
What about the Albuquerque Isotopes, named after Homer Simpson's softball team? Come on, man. You know that's cool.
nope.
You know that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's not as
Um,
cool as Augusta Green Jackets. It's a double entendre. You have the green jacket for the Masters, and you have the green jacket badass Wasp. That's cool. That's cool.
it is, yeah. But in the end, it's still an insect. I mean,
Yeah, an insect that
um,
you would run and you would look like a 5-year-old.
yeah, no, that's true. I would run from a yellow jacket. I mean, I don't think green jackets are an actual animal or actual
Hey, if I
insect.
saw a green jacket in the wild, you would not catch me investigating whether it was yellow or green or black or hornet or wasp. I'd just get the other way. That's all I know.
Agreed. And I think we're extending this a good amount. Marshall, do you have any final thoughts before college football season or?
And no final thoughts. I think, it was a pretty comprehensive discussion there. If people have any questions, feel free to beef with me in the comments. I will see you there. Square up.
I guess just a teaser on that note, we have a young up and coming rapper coming up on the podcast soon. So we're not gonna tell who that rapper is, but just be on the lookout for a young up and coming rapper on the podcast.
A lot of up and coming.
Yeah, a lot of up and coming. It'll be a pop culture crossover. It'll be a music and podcast crossover. We'll be like Sway in the morning. You'll be like Sway.
Sway, sway, sway.
It'll be like that time when like the all-time great freestyle from Lil Dicky on Sway in the morning.
Ooh. I
Maybe
need to
not
watch,
that much.
I need to go watch the last season of Dave or the last episode. Last episode that
Oh
just came out.
shoot.
You
Yeah,
don't watch it?
I haven't watched the series, man. I like
Oh, first season, okay. Second season, it's like The Office second season. They come into their own, and it's
okay, yeah, I'm about to check it out. After this, I'm about to check it
okay.
out. So on that note, I mean, I'll be out here watching Dave. I mean, Marshall. I mean, out here doing his Wall Street thing out here on these streets.
I'm just saying, keep an eye out there in Dave, the character Els. Taco from Odd Future.
Okay, no, I think I heard about that actually. I
Super
think I
cool.
did. Yeah. Well, on that note, I'm about to head off and watch some Dave. Um, Tune in next time, whenever that may be. Maybe we'll have a young up and coming rapper, but he will come soon, you know. But until next time, peace, love, and soul, everyone.